Hi, welcome to the Felixstowe Live podcast for Sunday the 16th of January 2022, in which we look back at the week's stories on Felixstowe Live and start our conversations with local people on local topics and local business owners and operators. If you'd like to be involved, if you have an opinion you'd like to express, if you've got a story you'd like to tell us, we'd love to hear from you on Felixstowe Live. We're delighted to report right now today that Felixstowe and Walton United won another home victory on Saturday the 15th against #United. It's the Seasiders' fourth successive win and sixth unbeaten game, but it's a personal blow for goal scorer Josh Hitter, who ended up with a really nasty sprained ankle with damaged ligaments, and he's going to be out of the game for at least the next 6 weeks. Get well soon, Josh. This week we're talking to someone who's been running the Hamilton Road shop for just over a year, but first we'll take a look at topics and stories we've covered in the past 7 days. Don't forget this podcast is also available on YouTube with some illustrations and other information, but its main place is going to be here on Facebook. On Sunday, we were delighted to see that the Books and Vintage shop is going to be converted into a little wine shop, a wine bar and wine retail outlet run by Deborah McGlynn Hale and Stuart Hale up there in Walton. That's a really interesting use for this small shop. It's not a big place, but we hope it's going to be really successful and it will prove a good and interesting place to go for an evening out. Make a nice change, go for a glass or two, have a relax and have a natter. On Monday we found a story about Brexit. Well, yeah, it was interesting, asking business people about their experiences in the past year. Lots of us really have viewpoints on Brexit that have kind of changed, haven't they, over the past year or so? And the reality seems to be that a lot of businesses are suffering. Some of them are actually suffering too because of the lack of people to do their jobs. Because when people all said, gosh, let's get rid of these foreign workers, the reality is we didn't know just how much we counted on them. Look at lorry drivers. We also picked up on the story of Felixstowe's 38th daily rail service. It's operated by GB Rail Freight for maritime transport, and it connects the port with Birch Coppice Depot in the Midlands. It's an interesting one, this, isn't it? It's good to see these trains bringing boxes in and taking empties out, but the reality is, how do they affect the transport industry? I guess from the point of view of many drivers, it means that jobs in their own area, i.e. in the Midlands, are more available because there are more boxes to be delivered every day from that depot, but there are less long haul runs to do with lorries from Felixstowe. So it's interesting how that works out. Love to hear from lorry drivers about what you think on this particular topic. On Tuesday, we discovered that Felixstowe is on Kentucky Fried Chicken's favourites list. They want to open a branch here. They're certainly spreading their wings, ho-ho. But what do you think? We had a lot of comments on Felixstowe Live saying how much people enjoyed the favourites shop in Felixstowe. I haven't tried it because I'm not too enthusiastic about the Kentucky kind of recipe coating, but now that so many people have said how nice it is, I'll have to give it a try myself. Now, time to hear from a local business owner. Local independent shops are a major part of Felixstowe's success, and we really need to celebrate them. On this week's Felixstowe Live podcast, we're going to meet someone who's been in business for just a year. Sarah Jacks runs Baby Hampers in Hamilton Road. She's a good old girl. A lot of people like her. A lot of people think she's a bit funny, but there you go. But she's okay, really. So, Sarah, you've been in business for a year. What do you make of it? How are you enjoying yourself as a businesswoman?
Yes, it's Okay. How do you answer that? I don't know. Yeah, enjoying it.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But it's good working for yourself.
And what about customers? You get customers from all over the place, don't you? Not just
Yeah,
Felixstowe.
from all over the place. No, we have, yesterday I had some from Cambridge, London. So, yeah, it just depends who's visiting on the day.
Right. And are you doing online business as well?
I've just shut down a website and starting a new one.
Right.
Because that one wasn't the greatest. So we're moving on to a different platform. So that'll be up and running probably next week.
Okay, well, we'll put a little note on when you are.
Yes.
When you look at starting your own business, one of the things I've always believed in is trying to encourage local businesses to start in Felixstowe.
Yeah.
How would you advise someone who's been thinking about it? Lots of people think about starting businesses locally for ages and ages, don't they? And actually making the move is the scary bit.
It is a scary bit. It's kind of, you never know whether it's going to work or not. But you've just got to go for it. But do a business plan. That's the best thing to start off with.
Right. I mean, when you actually open the door for the first time, you don't know whether anybody's going to walk in anyway, do you?
No, you don't. It's a risk that you take when anybody starts a business, anywhere.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a risk.
But you're surviving.
Yeah, surviving. Ticking over. Never going to be a millionaire, but just ticking over.
But I imagine, I mean, I know you quite well.
Yeah.
I would imagine that from your point of view, if we hadn't had COVID, you would be whizzing along really by now.
Oh, yeah. It would be a lot better than what it is at the moment. Obviously, since the masks come back into play, it has dropped a little bit with the new variant. But it seems to be picking back up again.
Good.
Yeah.
One question, final question. You're off the hook with this one. Final question with this one then. Would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're feeling quite brave?
Yeah.
Excellent. So this is Sarah Jacks of Baby Hampers in Hamilton Road, Felixstowe. She is our only proper baby store in town.
Yeah.
And she's a real person. She's not a body on the end of the internet.
Oh, no.
You can actually talk to her, get a bit of advice, and have a chat.
And anything you can't see, I can probably get in.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
If you run a local business in Felixstowe, we'd love to hear from you. Just drop Felixstowe Live a Facebook message. On Thursday, we discovered that the old police station and its associated buildings now look likely to become 26 flats. There was some talk about the bottom floor, the ground floor, becoming shops and retail, but that now seems to have gone away and it's just a flats development, which seems pretty reasonable to me. I don't know what you think, but smaller accommodation. We've got a lot of biggish 3-4 bedroom houses being built in various locations around Felixstowe. But it's good also to have smaller accommodations, flats, 1 or 2 bedroom flats that suit people who live on their own or smaller families, couples, etc. I live in a flat and I have to be honest enough to say that I like it. Okay. We've also learnt that the new kitchen at Felixstowe Cafe and Restaurant is now being fitted out for an early spring opening. A lot of people have expressed doubt that it was ever going to open, but we had an exclusive interview with cafe operator Cameron Marshall back in the autumn. We've included a link to that in the comments, by the way. But he was always saying at that point that it was going to be spring 2022 that the Felixstowe kitchen is going to open. And the reason really about that seems to be mainly due to COVID, I think. I think there were so many problems and issues that they thought they'd leave it until things started to sort out. And they have now. So I'm really looking forward to that opening. I'm going to be one of the early customers, I hope. It's always good to see people claiming actual business records. We had a business record claim from Hutchison Port's Port of Felixstowe. They handled what's believed to be the largest number of containers ever on a single ship in Europe. They handled 23,773 TEU, that's 20-foot container equivalents, on the MSC Diletta. She's a 24,000 TEU ship, and she completed operations and sailed from the port on the 12th of January. The point about this is that it means that the total exchange, i.e. containers on and containers off, came to that number, nearly the capacity of the ship, but of course didn't empty the ship or come to that filler up. What happens with that one is that hopefully Felixstowe got rid of a lot of empty containers which have been clogging up the port for ages and ages. I hope they can get this resolved soon, and I hope that the port can get back on a more level kind of keel, if you like. Sorry about that. The guys at the port have been working, I know, incredibly hard under tough conditions in the winter, and it will be great to see Felixstowe get its position back. I think it's in danger from London Gateway, which is now opening a fourth berth, and from DP World Southampton, which of course has been carrying on without too many problems. I'd like to see Felixstowe get more and more big ships in and more business. I'm delighted to say that I had a day off on Friday, but you'll still find some video clips online from sunny but cold Galston. I had a great day looking at boats and ships, but I couldn't resist publishing a local news story when I got home, and that's the one about the outstanding people at RNLI Harwich who pulled some stuck people out of the mud up the River Orwell near Ipswich. The Felixstowe Coast Guard rescue team were there too. What terrific people we have in Felixstowe and over the harbour. And now Saturday. The Seasiders' fantastic win, Josh Hitter's nasty injury later during the match, and the 200th anniversary of the Coast Guards. Local volunteers, Felixstowe Volunteer Coast Guard team, and people we should be extremely proud of. If you'd like to get involved with Felixstowe Live podcast, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. If you have specialist topics and specialist knowledge you'd like to talk about, we'd love to hear from you on that too. Keep us up to date with your news and we'll spread it around. I'm Chris, this is Felixstowe Live, and I'll speak to you soon. The Felixstowe Live podcast is produced by Felixstowe Live. The music used in this podcast is Retro Future Clean, composed by Kevin MacLeod. Felixstowe Live podcast is copyright 2022.